Hello and good day. My name is Trent Killians. I hope things are going pretty good for you. Well, apparently, America was never great. With all the turmoil and controversy in our nation over the last few decades, it's easy to criticize the U.S. as a country in decline. However, it seems times like these that we need to grit up, stand strong, and fight for what we believe in. We need to remember that despite the many faults we can currently name with the United States, this is still the greatest nation on earth. Here are 4 reasons that we are still the greatest nation on earth. Number 1, the First Amendment. It's true that our freedom of speech and freedom of religion are under attack in the modern America. And I don't deny that we are standing and looking over a cliff that freedom haters are desperately trying to shove us off of. Yet we can still express ourselves as we wish, thanks to the First Amendment and the Constitution. And reason 2. I can hear all you leftists screaming all out at once. Guns. Although the quote is thought to have been altered a bit over the years, tradition holds that Japan's Admiral Irizoko Yamamoto said during World War II, "You cannot invade the mainland of the United States. There would be a rifle behind every blade of grass." Whether the quote is accurate, the idea is still true today. It is estimated that 1 in 3 households in the U.S. has guns, and that is, as it should be, for freedom founders. If you want to own a firearm to protect your family, that is your right. In fact, the number of registered hunters in the U.S. is estimated between 25 and 45 million. This would be, by far, the largest standing army in the world. Keep in mind that this doesn't include gun owners who aren't registered hunters. And it is possible because our founders placed this right in the Constitution, in the Second Amendment. Number 3, sea to shining sea. There's no doubt that God brought our forefathers to this land. There is no other country on the face of the earth with the natural resources and the variety of climates and lands that we have. Beaches, mountains, deserts, valleys, prairies, tundras, you name it, we've got it. Not only do we have the vast and beautiful land, but we can travel freely to any of them without passports, papers, or any other restrictions. Consider Europe as a comparison. There are different climates and landforms there, all within a smaller area than our single country. But traveling between them means traveling across different countries with different rules. As far as natural resources, no other landmass, let alone country, on the planet compares in the slightest to what we have here. We sit on top of the largest deposits of oil and natural gas anywhere. Our timber is practically unrivaled. The list goes on and on. This by far is the most blessed piece of land on our globe, despite the constant attempts to restrict our access to the resources we own. And number 4, opportunity and wealth. In many countries, the caste or social status you are born into, is where you will remain for life. Other countries allow people to advance themselves, but do not have the opportunities to make such advancement feasible or even possible. America, though it's the land of opportunity, despite the leftists would have us believe you can still go from rags to riches in the United States of America if you have the desire and the drive to do so. The majority of the world's wealthiest people live here. We hear constantly from the media about how poor and how underprivileged there are in this country. Yet in reality, the poor in the U.S. are richer than the poor of just about any other country, and are actually richer than the rich in some countries. Stick to that, and you will see a lot of knowledge come from those analysis that you dig deeper into. The poor in this country have cell phones, air conditioning, and cable television. The poor in many countries eat dirt and bugs to survive. Yes, indeed. Despite our many downfalls and problems, there is still no better place on this earth to live than good old U.S. And that is also one of our biggest problems. There are many who want to strip us of what we have. And more than a few of these are right among us. The top dog is always under attack by those who would tear them down, and we are by far the biggest target around. There are only two things that can keep these beasts at bay. The first is our own diligence. Great nations always fall when their citizens become complacent, self-righteous, and morally depraved. Always. The second is our loving and providing God, under whose protection we have been for 2 centuries. Yet those of us who know and love the truth understand his protection of our country is conditional on us acknowledging and following him. When we turn our backs on him, he will abundantly return the favor and kind. I pray that we have not already fallen that far. Although in the flesh, it's very hard to see how we are not either standing at the precipice or sadly already in free fall. Unaware of our impending fate, man, ignorance is bliss. But I tell you this, I love this country. Stopping terrorizing on national ground loves this country. Let's work together to protect it, and let's remind people why we still are the greatest nation on earth.